What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We got a special episode for you tonight. I am your host, Anomaly.
They didn't kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master, good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he said, what's the matter?
Word up, man. Word up, man. Shout out to Malcolm X. I am your host, Anomaly. This is the Randumb Review Podcast, and tonight we are talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is representation of oneself. So, this might be a Part 1 episode because I plan on getting a few other people in on this conversation at some point. Now, as a black man in America at 38 years old, I've seen enough to where I feel like I've seen too much. I have been threatened as a black man. I have dealt with racism as a black man. I have been called every name in the book. I have been discriminated against. I have been put to the side for somebody that was probably less skilled than me. And when I say these things, I don't want to come off bitter because I'm not bitter. All right. I understand how the world works. I understand that, people are split off into factions. They're like tribes, You have a certain tribe that might feel threatened by another tribe. You're trying to wipe that tribe out. That's how I feel about ethnicity, racism, people of different nationalities, Asians, Irish, Italians, blacks, Hispanics, it's all across the board. And the biggest thing that has always bothered me is that people draw more attention to my race than I actually do. I'm not walking around reminding you every 5 minutes that I'm black. You're walking around every 5 minutes letting me know that I'm black. Now, racism has always been a part of life. It's nothing new to me. And tonight's episode is called Adaptation versus Racism. And the one thing that I needed people to understand is the separation between the two. If there is a separation, is there really a separation? Because I've met people of different ethnicities and different cultures, different walks of life. And, there has been many, many times in my life where someone has tried to maybe act the way they think a black person should act because they feel like they want to relate to me. And it's always been embarrassing. Every time that's happened to me, anytime somebody's been around me and they were a person of a different color and they thought it was comfortable to, use the word nigga in front of me and think that that's okay because we're just talking. It's just a word, And I think it's crazy because When I mean adaptation, is that if you are around your class of people, if you're around your specific race of people, but all of a sudden when the black guy gets there, you're talking completely differently than the way you were 5 minutes prior to that. That's adaptation. And you might not be racist. You might just be thinking that you're being cool. You might just be trying to be on my level, think that you can talk to me and relate to me and talk in my language, whatever you think my language is, which is bullshit. Um, and I think it's naive, to be honest with you. I think any person with a moral compass would understand that, okay, just because that person is of a different color, I shouldn't try to assimilate myself with them. I shouldn't try to identify with them. I should just try to, treat them like a normal human being. Treat them like you were treating the person that you were just talking to. Don't assimilate yourself. The shit gets crazy to the point where, okay, for example, for the listeners out there, I had, I work weekends at night with mentally challenged people, mentally disabled, physically disabled, medically fragile, um, and the staff member that I happen to be working with, and I'm not gonna mention his name, um, he was a cool guy. He was a funny guy. We could conversate. We conversate the whole weekend, and there was a lot of relativity there. We clicked on musical levels, like we were talking about, certain hip hop and certain rock, but all the way up into that point until I started making him feel more like he could be comfortable being himself. He was just trying to be Mr. Hip Hop, Mr. B Rad, Mr. I don't know. And it was embarrassing, to be honest with you. And I felt embarrassed for him and I felt embarrassed for myself. Because anytime somebody tries too hard with me, especially I don't know if it's the sound of my voice, the dialect that I use, the accent that I use, but let me tell you, it's a very irritating thing to have to be the token. Okay, and I've been the token in a lot of places in my life. Me and my brother were military kids growing up, and we had to adapt to our environment every time, even if that area that we had to adapt to was predominantly white or predominantly Hispanic or what have you. So it was we had to figure out quickly that everybody's not gonna like you. Everybody ain't gonna fuck with you. You know what I mean? Everybody's not gonna see things through the same eyes that you see things through. They're not gonna see things the way you feel like the world should be. So you have to adapt to them, which is another form of adaptation. Now I have to adapt to the fact that you're racist. So now I have to move in a different way. I have to walk out of my house every day thinking, how is this person going to judge me? How are these people looking at me? Does it matter to me? At the end of the day, of course it's going to matter to you. As a black person in America, it's going to matter to you because you're still being judged based on the color of your skin. You could be the nicest fucking person in the world, but at the end of the day, you know that motherfucker over there, he's probably not going to like you just because you are who you are. So, my problem is, where is the line drawn? At what point do you feel like, you know, you feel like you have to address the shit with people? Do you let it slide? When you have somebody over there that's genuinely trying to be nice to you, but they're so in this theatrical zone and they're trying to adapt to you so much, do you cuss them out? Do you put hands on them? Do you correct them? What do you do, honestly? This has been a big question for me for the last, I'd say, a few weeks because I've had a couple of situations where I was in a professional setting, and a younger African American coworker decided that he wanted to adapt to me. I don't know if it was because he thought, okay, this is the only other black dude in the spot. Maybe I can talk to him, or maybe he was just trying. Because see, I've heard him have conversations, this individual have conversations with other people, and his demeanor, his dialect, everything is completely different. But when he get around me, it's almost like it has to be nigga this, nigga that. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfucker this, motherfucker that. And I know I talk that shit too. I'm bad about that, and I know that I shouldn't use the word as much as I use it. I'm a older school dude, so you know it's second nature to me, and I definitely need to work on that. I don't think it's right. Okay, I don't think we should be so comfortable with using the word, especially in front of other cultures. You know, especially in front of other ethnicities, because see, when you do shit like that, you're making them think, well, if this motherfucker can do it, why can't I do it? It's okay. They're sitting there laughing about it, and it's not. We're just embarrassing ourselves. We need to have a little bit more self control as a people. Okay. Um, and I'm guilty of this shit too. So I'm not sitting here pointing fingers. I just think that as a people, we definitely need to stop bashing each other. We need to stop knocking each other in front of all these other cultures, because we're just proving them right. Okay, so I when the brother came up and he was talking to me, we were in the work setting, and our GM happened to be there. Our general manager happened to be in the same room with us. And at a certain point, he came up to me. We were talking about something. I don't remember exactly what the topic was, but I do remember him saying, yo, but this nigga did this. And I'm like, and immediately, as soon as he said it, I felt embarrassed for both of us, because our GM was sitting there listening to us. And the GM happens to be an older Caucasian male in his mid 40s. You know, he's probably got an old school mentality too. And you know, immediately when he said that shit, I kind of just dropped my head, and I immediately stopped talking, because it was embarrassing. And I was like, dude, you making us look really bad right now. You making us look ignorant in front of the general manager. You know what I'm saying? You making it look like this is just how we act all the fucking time. And that shit bothered me so much that was the first time in 38 years of hearing the word nigga that it actually bothered me. And I was disappointed, because I was like, okay, at what point did I say it? Because I know I've used it in the lab before. I know that I've said it around people that I shouldn't have said it around, because I got so comfortable that I forgot that I was talking to people that can't identify with me. So, my question to the audience, to the listeners out there, is at what point do you stop judging people? When you go home at night, are you really cool with who you are? Are you cool with the fact that, you know, you might be living next door to a black person? You might be living next door to an Asian person. Are you cool with that? How many people out there like really are undercover racists? Because I'm speaking as a person that's never had a racist bone in my body. I've never been in a fight or an argument with somebody and immediately called them a spick or a cracker or a fucking mick or what, all of those fucking horrible racist terms out there that you can say. I've never had that in me to just say that. I've never been in an argument with somebody and been like, you motherfucker this, and I've never said that. So when I think when somebody says that, let's just say you've worked with somebody, okay, for, we'll say 4 or 5 years. You've worked with this person on and off. Y'all have had crazy conversations. Y'all have laughed. Y'all have, you know, been through shit together, and you get into an argument, and the first thing that this person says is, "You black motherfucker." Now, how is that not considered premeditated? Okay, like how is that not considered you know, thought out well beyond this argument. At some point, you have a problem with black people, or you have a problem with this race or that race. Because for you to even say that, for you to address color off the top, that means that you've always felt that way. Okay, I've had friends in the past that were Caucasian, and you'll know this person for so long, and you think that they understand you, and you think that you understand them, and then we'll say alcohol gets in the mix. That's when real shit comes out. And I've had you know conversations, very in-depth conversations with Caucasian friends of mine in the past that have ruined our fucking relationship because white privilege is a hell of a thing. And I'm not trying to offend any of the white people out there. I really don't care. Honestly, this is not about you. This is about a conversation about the views of adaptation versus racism. So, anybody that's getting offended by this right now, I'm sorry, but it's going to continue. So, keep listening. So, anyway, I have a conversation with this particular friend one night. Um, I take my brother, I take my girl. We go down there because we're used to hanging out with these people. They've always shown us mad love, so we would have never thought that the conversation would have went in the direction that it went in. And when we get there, we notice that they're buzzing already. I mean, we was kind of drinking too, so we notice that they're buzzing already. And we're talking, we're sitting at the table, and at some point, my friend's wife, which we love her too, at some point she just started bringing it to our attention that they love hanging out with minorities. And I don't know if she said that directly, but that's how we took it. So it was kind of weird. It kind of went left all of a sudden, and then she started bringing up the fact that she loves black people, and then it just became about black, 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 and we're looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on? Like, none of us addressed that shit. None of us said anything about color in here. None of us were talking about race. I thought we was just chilling. So we try to separate ourselves from this conversation because it was starting to get a little weird. So me and my friend and my brother, we go outside and we're talking. And at a certain point, we started talking about gun rights, gun laws, the right to bear arms, the fact that anybody would need to carry a gun. And for the listeners out there, I'm very much a gun supporter. I believe in protecting my family by all means necessary. I'm not letting nobody take what I've worked for. And yes, I'm going to protect myself. And his argument was that no material possession was worth killing somebody over or dying over. And me and my brother highly disagreed. I'm not going to let somebody come into my house and violate me. I'm not going to let somebody come in and take what I've spent my life working for. This is, it might not be shit to everybody else, but this is mine. I might not have a fucking mansion, but it's mine. So I'm going to protect what's mine. And he seemed to think that it was petty. And then it became about, you know, the the fact that he couldn't relate to the idea that somebody would actually break in his house or violate his family. And I believed that at that time, that was white privilege that was talking through him. Because, see, if you've ever been in a horrible neighborhood or you've ever been in a poverty stricken situation, if you've had to struggle and grind and hustle for what the fuck you need, you would never say some stupid shit like that. So then it became an argument about the fact that, as a white man in America, I don't have to do this and I can choose. And it just became a really conflicting argument. And I couldn't stand there anymore because it let me know that from both of our standpoints, you as a white man and me as a black man, you're just never going to get it. Probably the same reason why you don't understand why you can't say nigga to me in front of my friends. And I've told other white friends in the past that have asked me, yo, do you think it would be okay to say it? And I've told them, I'm like, yo, you can say whatever the fuck you want. You're a free man. You have the right to say whatever you want. But I mean, words have consequences. And if I'm over there chilling with you and you happen to be around a group of black guys around me and you decide to say that word and them niggas decide to whoop your ass, I can't protect you. So my point is, I don't think people really understand unless they're living in those shoes, because I've had so many people try to argue the case with me, um that, well, Hispanics have went through just as much, and Asians have went through just as much, and whites have went through just as much. And I'm like, everybody's went through something. I get that. But the statistics and the numbers don't lie. Okay? You go online right now, you Google the statistics of black males that are killed every year compared to Hispanic males, Asian males, white males. It's fucking through the roof. It's the bar graph is insanely high. Like, you wouldn't even think that they're on the graph. Do your statistics. Do your research for real. Niggas is dying out here. And it's hard enough trying to go outside every day and just function in a normal life, trying to go to work, trying to get your kids to school, trying to just go to the store and get groceries without being fucking harassed by somebody, or being sideswiped, or being, side-eyed by somebody. The people do a double take, especially if you're a very prolific or very pro-black kind of person. That shit is crazy. My brother, he has to deal with that shit all the time, and he's a phlebotomist at the fucking hospital, and he has to deal with it all the time. I personally have to deal with it all the time in my profession. I have to be reminded every damn day that I I don't want to work with this nigger. And it's really upsetting to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it should be upsetting to everybody else. I've been with women of different ethnicities, and it's it's always, anytime that I've tried to explain my stance on being very much a person of my people, I very much support my people, I represent for my people. It's almost like I'm talking in one ear and out the other. It's kind of crazy, because you don't the person that you're talking to, like I said, ultimately at the end of the day, they're just not gonna understand, because they don't deal with that shit. White folks don't have to walk out of the house and worry about cops fucking pulling them over for whatever reason, probable cause. You had your hat on backwards. You had a hoodie on. Don't even get me started on Trayvon Martin and all of these young brothers that are getting killed all the fucking time for just walking down the street or just trying to mind their fucking business. And I'm not leaving anybody out. I think personally that black women and Asian men are the most discriminated people on the planet. Black women can't catch a fucking break out here. They work hard. The black women are so fucking loyal, man. Like, they will back you the fuck up, just like Hispanic women. Hispanic women do not get the credit that they deserve. These are loyal, freaking fucking women. Like, it blows my mind that they get pushed to the side as far as their careers, um, their work ethic. Like, it's like, just because you're a female, you're not gonna be acknowledged, because ultimately, apparently, still in this day and age, at the end of the day, it's a man's world. And what the fucking crazy thing about that is that women are the breadwinners nowadays. I don't know if you paying attention to society or you looking out there, but there's a lot of unemployed motherfuckers out there, and they women are taking care of them. These niggas sit on the couch all day playing fucking Call of Duty, not doing shit for them, their families, society, no fucking body. And then got the nerve to go out there and cheat. And this is why I tell people, black men do not cheat. Niggas cheat. All right? And that stands for every race. There's Hispanic niggas out there. There's Asian niggas out there. There's white niggas out there. There's Irish niggas. There's Italian niggas out there. All of these niggas, those are the niggas that cheat. Real men don't cheat. Okay? So women put up with so much shit. And I think that's another form of, racism too. A woman will sit there and fucking work her ass off to make sure that you good, just to be comfortable tonight. She fucking probably got up, got herself ready, which probably took, a certain amount of time because women have to put on their makeup. They got to be looking a certain way. They got to look professional. Then they got to get their fucking kids ready, which is a whole nother hassle in itself. Then they get these little motherfuckers in the car, get them to school. Then they got to go to work on time, be professional at work while dealing in a chauvinistic, atmosphere. So then have to come home, cook something for your dumb ass, and then try to, satisfy you sexually. Like, I don't think motherfuckers pay attention to what the beauty of how, what was given by God for, like, what a woman is. I don't think people understand that. Women were given by God, and there wouldn't be a man without a woman. So you need to acknowledge that shit right now. And that's another thing that we need to step up as men. Because motherfuckers are out there and they're not showing these women the responsibility of being a strong man. So that's why a lot of motherfuckers get disrespected. And then they get mad and then they start putting hands on women because she made you feel like a punk. She made you feel like a sucker because that's what you are. And when she made you feel like that, you couldn't take it. So you either decided to put your fucking hands on her or you decided to cheat. It's unacceptable, brothers. We need to change this shit, man. And I feel like I'm ranting. This is just me tonight. And I didn't want to get serious, but I definitely think there should be some awareness brought on so many different topics, man. It's crazy out here, man. There's so many movements out here nowadays because people feel like they're getting discriminated. And what's crazy to me is that some of these bullshit movements are being accepted. I heard about a fucking movement the other day where pedophiles feel like they should be allowed to be able to have sex with young boys if they want to. There's literally, if you get online right now, listeners, if you get online right now, you will find that there's motherfuckers that are trying to petition for this shit to be legal. Pedophilia. Okay? Where does it stop? Because yet, you can sit here and you can petition for, and people, the system will allow certain shit to happen like that. But yet and still, my black ass can't go to the fucking car without feeling like somebody thinks is that I'm going to steal their fucking purse, or I'm going to rob them, or I'm going to hurt them, or I'm going to say some crazy shit, or I'm going to do something wild. The perception is what I have a problem with. Because the perception is a misconception. And everybody sees what they want to see. People prejudge all the fucking time. I know women that I have met in my past that have said that they were racist against a black man for the longest time because that they might have gotten raped by that black man. So they put every black man in that category. But yet and still, you're going to sit here and judge our whole race based on that one incident. Okay? Now, this is kind of a weird analogy, but historically speaking, white people are the most dangerous motherfuckers in the world. They created slavery. They've pillaged. They've conquered countries, kicked motherfuckers out of their countries. You got school shooters, and most of them are predominantly white. You got serial killers, predominantly white. And yet and still, I'm a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm a fan of Brad Pitt. I'm a fan of Tom Hardy. I'm not going to sit here and watch the news and see this white kid go to a black church and kill a whole bunch of motherfuckers and be like, you know what, man, fuck Brad Pitt. All these motherfuckers, they set that up. That's absurd to think that way. Okay? I'm not trying to bash anybody. It needs to be equal all across the board. Okay? Perfect example is the Harvey Weinsteins, the Kevin Spaceys, the I mean, there's so many of these guys out here now. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. Now, when it comes to Harvey Weinstein's still walking free. He's paying these lawyers. They're wiping this shit under the rug. Kevin Spacey, he just vanished for a little while. Came to court. They're trying to indict him, but wiping it under the rug. Bill Cosby, jail for life. So I'm saying if it's going to be equal, make it equal. Treat these motherfuckers the same way. But it seems like you just trying to hang our brothers out there. And I'm not supporting Bill Cosby in no shape or form. I think that motherfucker fucked up. That's a sick motherfucker. And if he did what they say he did, yeah, then he's exactly where he should be. Now, I don't know. I don't know Bill Cosby. I don't know these women. But one thing that I do know is whether it's a Harvey Weinstein or a Bill Cosby, if a motherfucker comes out and says that there's 50 females that have come against you saying that you raped them, violated them in some way, you should be both treated equal and you should be put under the fucking jail. Period. Now, I normally don't want to get serious. I don't take myself that seriously. I never want to get serious on this shit. This is probably going to be one of the few episodes that you're going to hear where it's just going to be me. Okay? There's so many opinions out there, and there's so many views, there's so many podcasts, and there's so much hate being pushed out there. And the problem that I have with the hate being pushed out there is that it's so desensitized now that people don't even recognize that it's hate anymore. I talk to my kids and I tell them, like, yo, just because you got friends that are, multicultural and, different races, don't think that when you go and hang out with them at their house that their parents aren't going to see you a certain way. Especially if they know your dad's black. Really? Okay. So we're going to have to keep an eye on her. It's a cold world out here, folks. And I want everybody to be aware of the real shit that's going on, man. Be awake. Wake yourselves up. And when I say that don't mean go watch fucking CNN and pay attention to all the political shit and what Trump's dumbass is doing. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is pay attention to you as a person. Pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to your fucking environment. If you can do anything for yourself and for the people around you, is try to enforce positivity. And try to make the world a fucking better place, man. All right? I'm going to wrap this one up, man. But I just wanted to, kind of get like I said, this is a first part conversation, and I'm going to get a lot of other people's opinions on this. And I don't want to, my point of this conversation was not to depress anybody. I didn't want to bring you down. I didn't want to, make you feel, I didn't want to offend anybody. And if you feel offended, I'm sorry, but everybody has the right to their opinion. Okay. And I was just voicing mine. And like I said, people, we got to wake up out here, man. Man, we got to wake up out here. It's getting crazy, man. I'm tired of seeing women getting beat up, and I'm tired of seeing women going through shit that they don't. It's unacceptable. I'm tired of seeing minorities go through the shit that they go through. It's unacceptable, babe. And we all gotta make a change, man. We all have to apply this shit. It can't be one person. It can't be, Like, if we gonna be black folks, for one, if we gonna be black people out here, we gotta stand up as a people. If you're gonna be Hispanic people, because you know what, black folks are the only ones that don't rep for themselves. Because Hispanics rep for themselves. Asians, fucking so culturally based. It seems like we're the only ones that don't back ourselves up at the end of the day. We need to acknowledge how we're fucking up. We need to accept some responsibility out here, because the only way we're going to change anything is if we start acknowledging where the source is. And it's with us. Okay? Now, I'm not sitting here dogging black folks out like there ain't people out there that's really repping for the cause, because I'm one of them. But you have to stay involved, man. You really gotta stay involved, man. We need more black leaders out here, man. It can't be just rappers, yo. Because see, my generation, that's how we were raised. I grew up during the fatherless generation, and the only mentors that I had growing up were rappers. They were my big brothers, they were my uncles, they were my father, growing up. So I hung on their every word. And a lot of my generation did a lot of stupid shit because we were hanging on their every word. You got to pay more attention, okay? But I'm going to wrap this up, all right? So, from the Random Review Podcast, shout out to all the listeners out there. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to my people, my friends, my family. I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting the Random Review Podcast. We're still fresh. We're still getting all the kinks out, but we're picking up speed. So, from the Random Review Podcast, I'm your host Anomaly, and we are out.